Hi, my name's Sarah Playford, and I'm from the very south coast of England, a town called Chichester, which is an old Roman town. I've grown up there, but when I was 18 I went to university and I went to study in Paris at the University of London Institute in Paris, which meant that I spent 3 years in the capital of the country. My degree is French studies, which meant that I studied the culture and the language, the history, everything that's French, which means that I'm now fluent in French and I have a good understanding of the French culture and the French history and why they act the way they do. Ever since I was a very small child, I've travelled with my family, and I've always enjoyed it. I've never been afraid of it. And living and studying in France has only added to the love that I have for language and culture and discovering these things, which I've always had as long as I can remember. So while I was in France, as well as studying, I was earning some money by teaching mostly young children, just being an au pair and teaching them English. And during the summer of 2010, I spent 2 months in Madagascar, volunteering as an English teacher, and that's kind of what really brought me into teaching. I mean, the people there, they have such a desperate need for English. They have no real national income, and the only thing they can really do is develop tourism in their country. So, as well as my own desires to study the language and the culture, which is fascinating. It's a mix of everything. I was able to help these people. I was able to give these children a good start. I was able to help the adults that needed the help. So, this is why I'm a teacher in the first place. And then I'm hoping to do a master's in linguistics as well later on, so I'll be able to study more languages and work out why exactly it is and it isn't. I've been a teacher I've been a qualified teacher for more than 2 years. I gained my TESOL in 2011, and since then I've taught in several countries. I spent most of my last 2 years in Russia, in Moscow, and that was excellent, except very, very cold. I spent some time in Lisbon, and right now I'm in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, and I'm teaching at a vocational college, which is one of the first ones ever. It's brand new, only opened this year, so that's it's quite exciting, and it's quite hard work because not everything's sorted out yet. So it's still developing. As for why I'd like to teach in Turkey, I am in Saudi Arabia now. I've never really explored the Arabic cultures or the Asian ones, but Saudi Arabia is obviously quite an extreme Islam place. We're just down the road from Mecca, so I haven't been able to explore it at all. I'm here as a single woman. If I want to explore, I need to have a man with me. I'm not a man that I'm related to, so it's quite difficult to find out anything and interact with anybody who's not your students or your fellow teachers. So I'm hoping to make the move to Istanbul, which will allow me to experience European or Western and Eastern cultures at the same time, and I'll be able to learn more about both places. Turkey and Istanbul in particular has a language and a culture that's all of its own. It's a mix of several, but it's also completely unique and individual. So it has a huge amount of history, from the Roman times to the Byzantine Empire and now into modern times, and I really would enjoy traveling there. My ideas on classroom management, my experiences of teaching have ranged from Madagascar, where there is 40 children in the room with a chalkboard, a blackboard, and that's it for resources, to Moscow, where we had smart boards and every student had a book and we were able to use the internet whenever we needed. And here and now, as I said, the college is still developing. We have whiteboards, some teachers have smart boards or projectors, so it's getting there. It's becoming more and more modern. So, the smallest class I've ever had was, I think, 3 students, three 8-year-old students, and my largest one, Madagascar 40, and my class here has been between 35 and 28. So I'm able to control a class of any size. I do prefer teaching older students, though. It's they're so much more reasonable. For the classroom management, if it's talking about a disruptive student, whenever I first meet a class, I will make sure that they understand the rules. Quite often I will ask them, what is a good student, what is a bad student, what's good behavior, what's bad behavior. So they then create the rules for me. And then if they break them, I can show them that this is what they said, this is what they decided. So once they know the rules, I give them a chance. I ask them to stop whatever it is they're doing. Quite often here it's having phones out in the classroom, texting and trying to call people. So I'll tell them, put your phone away, you know the rules. And then they have a second chance. If they have it a second time, I will give them a warning. Like, if you put your phone away, if you don't put your phone away, I'll take it away until lunchtime or until the end of the day. If I see the phone a third time, I will take it from them. They've had their warnings, I won't discuss it, I will just take it until the set time I gave them before. If it's continuous bad behavior that takes place over a long period of time, then I want to like to talk to the student alone and see if there's a problem at home, or they have a problem with understanding in the classroom, or if there's something that I can help with that will change their behavior, and make sure that they understand that it's affecting not just their learning, but it's affecting the rest of the class as well, because it means that I'm taking time out to discipline them. And then if it continues, I follow the school's policy, which here in Jeddah is I go to my supervisor Katie, and we have another discussion with students, and then if that still doesn't change anything, they'll go on report and the parents become involved then. So it very much depends on the school's policy with a long-term problem. If they're noisy or disruptive, again, I give them 2 warnings, and then I will probably move them. So I'll put them at my desk with me, or I'll put them at an empty desk away from their friends and away from the people they're disrupting. And again, if it's a continuous problem, then I will discuss it with my supervisor and discuss it with their parents. The general classroom atmosphere that I like to foster is relaxed and friendly. I don't like it's quite a French thing, me teacher, you student, you listen, no talking. I don't like that. I don't think anybody feels comfortable in that atmosphere. I know I don't. I know very often my students don't, and they become very restless and rebellious. So I don't mind having fun in the classroom. I like playing games. I like having extra materials. I like, I'll quite often have a ball or something that we can play with. But the rule is, if I'm talking, then they need to listen. If I have a certain place that I will go to, and if they go past that, then it's a problem. So I don't mind if they're chatting, I don't mind if they're being silly, I'm happy to join in with that, but to a certain point. And most students come to appreciate it, and most students understand that, and they know that I try to have one-to-one time with all of them, and I do care about how they work. So that's my classroom management skills. I'm really hoping that I will get to speak to you soon, and I hope to see you in Istanbul. Bye.